All right, Ray, here's an interesting question I want to hear your take on. So, do you think Stellantis can make a strong comeback? And I want to rephrase this question just a little bit. Do you think Stellantis can make any kind of comeback? And I want to say that this viewer is probably asking more about the brands and maybe not necessarily about Stellantis itself.
I would say if the rumors are true that in North America they're trying to get the board at Stellantis to agree to a 30 to 35% MSRP reduction. And the hope is to be able to make that a reality sometime in quarter two, which would put us in April, the April-May timeframe. I think that if that were to happen and prices were to go down by 30 to 35%, that yes, they would be able to make a comeback. Will they be able to quickly regain the market share that they lost? I don't know that it'll be quickly, but I think it will move them in the right direction in order to be able to do that. Nothing moves product like price reductions. The best day I ever had at my Golf USA Pro Shop that I had in Mesa, Arizona, the best day I ever had, dollars and cents and sales wise, was my first day of my going out of business sale. Why? Because prices were 40% off. So, so price drives consumers. So if there's a price decline of 30 to 35%, then yes, Stellantis will have a comeback. People will come back to the brand and they will buy the product again. And maybe they'll actually earn back the trust of their customers that they built the brand on in the first place before they abandoned them with these high-priced vehicles that they decided to build instead.
I'm going to agree with you. I almost wonder if it's too late though. Um, I, I don't know where their margins are. I would assume they're probably through the roof at this point. There's going to be a big mending that's going to have to happen between dealer and Stellantis after they do these cuts. If they do these cuts, however severe they are, if they go 30, 35% across the board, you're going to have dealers that are not happy about this because they still have 2023s sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have to not only have the discounted the 30% off the 2025s that they're having sitting, but they're going to have 40% off the 2024s, and they're going to have 50% cut off the 2023s that they have now. I think it's great for the consumer. I think it's great for the car market because it's going to drive down prices. I think it's the absolute worst case scenario for these dealerships. Maybe not the worst case scenario long term, but for the next 6 months, I think these dealerships are going to have to eat a lot. Now, I'm wondering if, in this case, do you think Stellantis is going to come in and provide some help for these dealers that have already purchased a lot of these vehicles? What is that going to look like, you think?
Stellantis is going to have to help underwrite to the dealer all these discounts. And the reason I say that is because it's plain as day that the dealers can prove to Stellantis that you're the ones that put us in this position. You're the ones that chose to build $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 trucks when that wasn't what the market was demanding. We're the ones that you sold those vehicles to because, well, we had no other supplier for vehicles other than you. So we know that there were tremendous issues that the dealers had with Stellantis's upper management. And with Carlos Taveras gone and John Elkman overseeing things before they hire a new CEO, they realize that the first thing they have to do is repair that relationship with their dealer body. because they can't sell the cars direct to customers. They have to sell them through their dealer body. So before they can make their retail customers happy, they have to make their wholesale customers happy. And if they're going to have to underwrite it to the tunes of hundreds of billions of dollars or whatever the amount of money is, they're going to have to do that. Because and they're going to have to, and the way they're going to do it is they're going to prove to the dealer body that they're going to bite off the biggest portion of this loss in order to help sustain the dealers, so we can get things back to normal and bring back our normal customers and regrow our market share. So I think it's going to fall primarily on the shoulders of Stellantis as a corporation to underwrite this for the dealers.
And I don't know if this is even possible, but do you feel like going forward, the quality of the product is going to have to go down significantly for them to bake in these lower prices? Or do you think that they already had all this margin baked into them already before they started doing any of these cuts?
Well, the quality didn't improve when the prices went up. So, they were just charging more for the same quality vehicles that they had been building. So,
but the amount that it cost them to produce the vehicles went up in the last few years, though.
Well, yeah, and maybe some of the things you do is you decontent some of your vehicles. There's certain technologies that are mandated by the state and federal governments, okay, that have to be in cars. But there's other technologies that the manufacturers decide that they want to put in that maybe perhaps they don't put in cars moving forward, so they can help to reduce the cost of the car. But I don't think it's going to impact quality. I think the quality is the quality. It's just I think what you're really asking is, will they figure out a way to be able to maintain some type of profit margin? And perhaps initially, maybe not. Perhaps initially they'll just look at it as a cost of doing business to get our business back to where it should have been or where we need it to be. Because you can't cut it 30 to 35% and still have the same margins you had before. So my guess is they're going to look for other ways to cut costs.
Yeah, and Ken is asking, where's the $30,000 off the Ram? It's not $30,000. It's going to be 30% that they're cutting. And from what I'm hearing, it's starting like first or second quarter of next year is what I'm hearing.
Yes. Yeah. According to some of our sources, and Igor is an excellent source for this, they're hoping, North America is hoping to get the board to buy off on it, to sign off on it. And there's still in negotiations. And so if it were to happen, and let's face it, where there's smoke, there's fire. So if it were, when it does happen, the anticipation is not until sometime during the second quarter of 2025. Well, that puts us in the April-May timeframe. So perhaps during the first quarter of the year, when sales are slow anyway, you don't necessarily offer those type of cuts. And then once the spring selling season kicks in is when you bring the price reductions of 30 to 35%, and hopefully you see sales increase dramatically because of that.
All right, so all of you watching here, I know most of you are not subscribed, so I need you to hit that subscribe button. Whatever we need to do to get you to hit that subscribe button, Ray will do it. So just hit it for us and let us know what he needs to do down in the comments to get you to subscribe. And I think this name fits with what we're talking about right now, Mopar. Guys, question. I have a 2019 Ram Bighorn with 58,000 miles and $8,000 left on a loan in really good shape. Should I take advantage of new Ram deals? If I'm hearing this news that we're talking about right now, I'm trying to get rid of that truck as quick as possible right now. I'm not trying to buy another Ram right now, but I'm trying to get rid of this truck right now.
Well, if the prices are going to go down 30% or 35%, if and when they do, well, that is going to have a dramatic impact on the pre-owned vehicles out there. If it's not going to happen to April or May, then you have some time. But let's face it, the value of your used car is greater today than it will be tomorrow. And except for that 12 to 18 month period when there were shortages of cars altogether, that has always remained true. So most days I could look at a customer in the eye and say, trust me, your car's worth more today than it is tomorrow, and it's certainly worth more today than it is a month from now. So just bear that in mind. Every day, your car goes down in value, not up in value. Not like it did in 2021 and 2022.
Yeah. Let's see, that truck's a 2,500, so it's probably not this dude's only truck, right? It's probably not his only means of transportation. If you were in his shoes right now, would you be trying to sell that truck right now, get rid of it, and then just wait until maybe these price drops happen and then take advantage of that? But I wouldn't be a buyer of any Stellantis product right now until we figure out what's going on with these prices. And I would be a seller of Stellantis products right now if I were owning one, in my opinion.
My guess is that CarMax is still buying, Carvana is still buying. There's some dealerships out there that will still be buying. So if you're in a position where you don't need that vehicle, I oftentimes, we would appraise somebody's trade and they wanted to order a car and it was going to be 8 to 10 to 12 weeks. Well, I couldn't guarantee the trade value 8 to 10 to 12 weeks from now. I mean, market can change in a matter of minutes. So I used to say, if you want to get today's value for your trade, you need to trade it today. Do it as a pre-trade so that we'll buy the car, we'll treat it as a trade-in when your vehicle comes in, and the trade amount will be what we're buying it for today, and that'll be applied to the deal 8 to 10 to 12 weeks from now. That's how you could do it. That's how we used to do it when people would order vehicles. Or if you're in a position and you can just afford to sell it and hold on to the money and wait to see that Stellantis drops the prices.
So it's interesting to think through this. So this news is not wide. It's not mainstream yet. You're not going to type it into Google and then get a bunch of articles shooting this out right now. So if it does become where it's a mainstream thing and they say, okay, we're going to cut prices by 30%, but we're going to do it 3 months from now. Mm-hmm. What does that just put all these dealers on a standstill? Because consumers, if they find out about it, like they're not going to a dealership. They're going to wait on the price cuts, right?
No, absolutely. If you were a customer, you'd wait. So that's why we're so much of this is hearsay at this point. That's why none of this has really appeared in any of the mainstream media, because they don't want it out there. They don't want to stop people from buying things today. And trust me, the salesperson that's selling these Stellantis products, well, they don't want to have to wait 3 months for their next customer. So yeah, it certainly won't be made public in any way, shape, or form until right before it happens, because otherwise it basically puts those dealerships out of business for 3 months.
Well, they didn't do a too good of job hiding this thing if it got to our ears, I guess.
Well, yeah. Yeah, especially mine, considering I have to wear hearing aids to hear anything.
All right. Here's a comment that I wanted to talk about. I saw earlier. That's the name. Dealer in Texas just tried charging me $1,687 for an inspection on top of the sale price of Z4. I told him to go onto YouTube and search hidden dealer fees. So one of our videos would have popped up. But that's a very I've seen like a recon fee before, but it's interesting that someone would have a $1,600, now almost $1,700 inspection fee on top of the car. You know what? I'm doing it wrong, because we put in our inspection fee all in the inclusion of the car. What's the most interesting fee that you've seen on any of these cars? That I know you get emails all the time.
Well, literally, when I guess it was 4 years ago, when Zach and I, we spent our winter in Las Vegas, and driving home in May, we were stopping at hotels, and we would do videos from the hotels. And I remember there was a dealer in Florida. I forget the name of the dealer off the top of my head, but they had a $1,995 friends and family fee. $1,995 friends and family fee. And I remember saying, I don't have any friends and I don't have any family in Florida. Why would I have to pay a friends and family fee of nearly $2,000 to the dealer? We see this stuff all the time. Where the dealer charges a reconditioning fee, an inspection fee, a this or that fee. They advertise a low price. They get you in, and then they break it to you gently that there's all these fees that they didn't list in the advertisement, which is the reason why the FTC came up with their cars regulations that they're trying to implement to get dealers, I don't know, to play fairly. And so we see it, we know it happens. We see it all the time. There's rules and regulations on the books in every state in America, whether it be local or statewide. And then there's federal rules and regulations that are on the books to prevent this stuff. What it takes is enforcement. If we don't enforce the rules and regulations that are on the books, it doesn't matter that we have these rules and regulations. So it's not like every state legislator hasn't tried to buy a car and knows that they get screwed every time that they do, or every congressperson or every U.S. senator either hasn't tried to buy a car or knows somebody who hasn't tried to buy a car and gotten screwed. That you'd think the first thing you'd want to do as a congressperson or a senator is say, could we enforce this stuff? This is nonsense. So yeah, I've seen some pretty outlandish, but the friends and family fee, that one, yeah, I mean, my God, I never heard of such nonsense.
So this right here, Igor saying a friend and family, it should be a discount, not an upcharge. And I can remember one of my first jobs, I worked in Sears in the electronics department back when they had tube TVs. That's what I sold tube TVs in the beginning. And there was a friends and family night, but whenever you came into Sears to buy a tube TV, you didn't get an upcharge of 30%. You got a discount of 30% because you were a friends or family member.
Exactly.
Is it just that dealership just saying, you know what can we do to just prove that our customers are the dumbest people on the planet for us to be able to charge a friends and family fee? It's like, okay, walk in the door and smile and you get a fee for that. If you're breathing, you get a fee. I mean, they're basically already doing the breathing fee because they're charging you for nitrogen, right?
Yeah. It highlights it highlights what the who was it that said that there's a sucker born every minute. And there is. It's sad but true that people don't pay attention to what it is that they're doing when they're spending their money. I don't know how you could go to a dealership, see a car that's advertised at a price. They go, P.T. Barnum said it. Okay. And they go, okay, here's the price. we do have some additional fees here at the dealership. There's a $1,995 friends and family fee. Everybody gets charged that because, well, once you're a member of our friends and family team, goodness gracious, we take such good care of you. And then, we have a picnic every summer, and you'll just have to bring potato salad for, I don't know, 300 or 400 people. I mean, how stupid do you have to be to see that fee and go, okay, I'll pay it? Absolutely. Let me pay that. You have any more fees I can pay? But in most cases, it happens and the people agree to it because it gets pushed into their payment, and that's all they care about. I used to have customers walk into the store and you'd hear them say things like this: what's my payment with the late fee? Excuse me? Why would you even want to know that? Why? Yeah, let us. And when the finance manager would call the bank, and they'd go, well, I know he's been late all the time on his past loans, but my God, think of all the extra interest he pays you for that. You have a fiduciary responsibility to your shareholders to say yes to him again. He just always pays late, and he always pays more than he should. I don't know what's wrong with people.
Here's what we need to do, Ray. We're in the car market, so we should join everyone else in the car market and do what they're doing. So typically subscriptions are free, just like nitrogen in the air is free.
Yeah.
We should start charging everyone to subscribe to our channel. So I think we have like almost 15,000 subs right now. I mean, what's a fair rate? $10? $10 per sub? Yeah.
And you know what you get for that? You get to say you're a subscriber to Car Sense.
Oh my goodness.
Who in, anytime you're sitting around the table with friends, who wouldn't? Hey, by the way, I paid $10. I'm a subscriber to Car Sense. I can get through to those guys anytime they're on the air. They'll even answer my questions. Yeah.
And we can call it the friends and family subscription. There we go.
Yeah. Or we just want to make a few more extra dollars fee. Yeah, whatever.
Oh yeah, but we got to go down to it's $9.99. It's got to be $9.99. That's what it's got to be.
Odd cent pricing. That's very important. The psychology behind odd cent pricing. Seriously. Yeah.
All right, we beat whatever that question. I don't even remember what the question was. You remember what the question was?
Hell no. But at my age, I have a hard time remembering yesterday. If you liked what you saw today, do us a favor right here at Car Sense. Like and subscribe. We're new. We're growing. You can't do without us.